Childers, excuse me, Your Honor, also from Houston.
All right, thank you.
Your Honor,
Yes, Mr.
may the detectives be designated as our investigating officers and be permitted to remain throughout these proceedings?
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, buckle your seatbelts. We're about to begin. Before we begin, I'm going to describe for you how the trial will be conducted, and I'm going to explain what you and the lawyers and I will be doing during this trial. When I refer to the people, I mean the attorneys from the District Attorney's Office who are trying this case on behalf of the people of the state of California. When I refer to defense counsel, I mean the attorneys who are representing the defendant, Mr. Durst. The first step in this trial was jury selection. May present and will present an opening statement. The defense is not required to present an opening statement, but I understand they will give an opening statement also that the evidence will show. Next, the people will offer their evidence. Evidence usually includes witness testimony and exhibits. After the people present their evidence, the defense may also present evidence, but they're not required to do so. Because he is presumed innocent, the defendant does not have to prove that he is not guilty. After you've heard all of the evidence and before the attorneys, the system of justice requires that trials be conducted in open court, with the parties presenting evidence and the judge deciding the law that applies to the case. It would be unfair to the parties if you were to receive additional information from any other source, because that information may be unreliable or irrelevant, and the parties will not be on the evidence presented during this trial in this court and the law as I provide it to you. Or therapists, do not share information about the case in writing, by email, by telephone, on the internet, or by any other means of communication. You must not talk about these things with the other jurors either in the jury room, and only when all jurors are present. You must not allow anything that happens outside of the courtroom to affect your decision. During the trial, do not read any source. Do not use the internet or a dictionary in any way in connection with this case, either on your own or as a group. Do not investigate the facts or the law or do any research regarding this case. Do not conduct any tests. Asks you about the case, tell him or her that you cannot discuss it. If that person keeps talking unintentionally, do not share that information with any other juror. If you do receive such information, or if anyone tries to influence you or any juror, you must have deliberations. Do not take anything I say or do during the trial as an indication of what I think about the facts, the witnesses, or what your verdict should be. Do not let bias, sympathy, prejudice, or public opinion influence your decision. You must reach your verdict without any consideration of punishment. I want to emphasize you may not use any form of research or communication, including electronic or wireless research or communication, to research, share, communicate, or allow charge. The fact that a criminal charge has been filed against the defendant is not evidence that the charge is true. You must not be biased against the defendant just because he's been arrested, charged with a crime, or brought to trial. A defendant in a criminal case is presumed to be innocent. This presumption is true. The evidence need not eliminate all possible doubt, because everything in life is open to some possible or imaginary doubt. In deciding whether the people have proved their case beyond a reasonable doubt, you must impartially compare and consider all the evidence that's received throughout the entire trial. Unless the evidence proves the defendant guilty beyond a reasonable doubt, he is entitled to an acquittal, and you must find him not guilty. You must decide what the facts are in this case. You must use only the evidence that is presented in the courtroom. Evidence is the sworn testimony of witnesses, the exhibits admitted into people prepared and ready to give the opening statement.
You have one moment, Rob?
Yeah.
Just need to